Welcome back everyone to Catherine's Plates, where today I'm going to show you how to make manicotti. This is an Italian dish full of flavor, really easy to make. And what I like about it is you can turn this into a freezer meal, make one for yourself, pass one on to someone else, and it's perfect for the holidays. Now I've got the ingredients right here. I'm going to bring it down and show you them so you can start preparing this with me. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to start off. You're going to need a box of manicotti. There's 8 ounces in here. Some pasta sauce, garlic, onion. I've got some eggs in here. Italian sausage, some salt, pepper, some parsley. We've got some ricotta cheese, mozzarella cheese. There's some baby spinach back here if you want to add that. And then we've just got some cooking oil to get it all started. The first step is we want to cook our manicotti. So I've got a large pot of water coming to a boil. We're going to be using 8-ounce box of manicotti. There's 14 shells in here, and let me show you what those look like. Tubular shells that come like this, and 14 of them come in a 8-ounce box. So we're going to bring that to a boil. We're going to cook these about half the time that's on the back of the box. That way they don't get too tender and tear while we're trying to fill them. We're going to go ahead and start making the filling. You're going to need 1 pound of Italian sausage. This is a mild flavor, and since these are in the casings, I'm just going to slit them and pull out the sausage from inside. We're going to start by placing our burner onto a medium-high heat. Just going to place the skillet on our heat. Just going to take one of the sausages, just slit it down the center, and to squeeze everything out of the casing. If you have sausage that's already ground up, you can use that. If you can find that, then use that. Or you can use even the Jimmy Dean breakfast sausage. I find this is very tasty for an Italian sausage. We're going to break up the sausage. And you want to break it up as tiny as you can get. Alright, I'm going to finish browning up my sausage. In the meantime, our water is boiling for our pasta, so what I'm going to do is flavor the water with about 1.5 tablespoons of salt. I'm going to start placing the manicotti in. We're going to give this a stir for about 30 seconds. That'll help keep the manicotti from sticking to itself. Now it says about 9 to 10 minutes, so I'm going to cook it for 5 minutes. And then what we're going to do is drain the manicotti and just lay them out on a sheet pan so they don't stick to each other. The sausage is all browned up. Now you want to make sure that you have broken it up very tiny. That'll help us stuff the manicotti. I'm going to go ahead now and add my sausage to a large bowl. Now there's hardly any grease in there, so I'm going to leave it all in there. Now if you find that you have excess grease in your sausage, you can drain that. In the same pan over medium-high heat, I'm going to just add a little bit of some cooking oil. It's still on medium-high heat. I'm going to take my baby spinach. Now I just have half a bag here, so about 3 ounces. And I'm going to cook that down. While that's cooking down, I'm going to season it with a little bit of salt. Now you can use the frozen spinach, and if you do that, you don't have to cook it down. All you have to do is just drain it really good after you've thawed it out and get all the water out of it, and you can add that to your sausage. I'm going to chop up my spinach really good. Just using a fork to help hold it so we won't burn ourselves. That way now we have chopped spinach. You do this if you're using the fresh spinach. We're going to go ahead now and add that to our sausage. Okay, I've got my pasta all rinsed off, and I rinsed it with cold water to cool them down so they can stop cooking. They're still a little firm, which is great. It'll help us pipe in the filling. I'm just going to lay these on our parchment paper lined baking pan here so they don't stick to each other while we finish making the filling. We're going to add 2 beaten eggs into our sausage. Got half a cup of ricotta cheese. If you don't like ricotta cheese, you can also use cottage cheese, which I really love. I'm using the rest of the ricotta cheese from when I made the cannoli cake, and it was so delicious, you guys. If you haven't seen that one yet, I will link it down below for you guys. We're going to add a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. I'm going to add in some black pepper, about 1/4 teaspoon. I'm not going to add any salt because the cheeses have the salt in it, the sauce is going to have it, so we're not going to oversalt this at all. I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of minced onion, or you can put in onion powder. I'm going to squeeze in a little bit of minced garlic. Again, you can even use garlic powder if you want to do that. We're going to mix this all together. I'm just using the back edge of my fork so I can really mash everything together. So it's kind of a creamy filling. It smells good in there. I think I want to add another half a cup of ricotta cheese. And then just stir that in. It smells delicious. I'm not going to be able to taste this filling because it has egg in it. That looks good. Let's go ahead now and start building up our manicotti dish. We're going to go ahead now and prepare our baking dish. I've got a, let's see if I can measure that. Let's see. This is a 10 by 11 baking dish here. You can use a 9 by 11. That's totally fine also. Just using some Classico tomato and basil pasta sauce. This is a 24-ounce jar. I'm going to be placing about half of this on the bottom of our baking dish. That's good. And then I'm just going to shake it to cover the whole bottom. I may go up the sides just a little bit. We're going to take our filling. Now I'm going to do it in batches because we're going to be using a piping bag, or you can use a Ziploc bag and put the filling in there. I'm just going to roll this down. And then I'm going to fill this as much as I can before I get to the top of it. Okay, I have this much in here. I'm just going to roll the top up here. Twist it. Now I haven't cut off the end yet because I want to wait until I am ready. Now once I get all this filling into the manicotti, I still have some more filling here so that we can finish those off in the second batch. Okay, I cut off a good size up there at the top. There we go. That way the filling can come out. Now if you're having trouble with that, you could cut a little bit more. Our manicotti is nice and cool and dried off. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our filling. I'm going to go halfway into the manicotti and then come out one side and then go back into the other side and come out. That way we don't have to fill from here and go all the way that way. It'll be easier. Just push it in about halfway and then just start squeezing. until it comes right to the edge there, just like that. And then we're just going to turn it around, and we're going to go in on the other side, go to the center, and then just press. And then we're going to place this into our pan, lay it into the pan. Now if you want to do it just laying on the pan, you can do that also. Just lay it there, press that in, and squeeze. Turn it around, and do the other side. Okay, I've got another pan right here that I'm going to fill up with the rest of them. Okay, I've got both pans of my manicotti made. What we're going to do now is take another jar of Classico pasta sauce and pour it over the manicotti. I'm going to sprinkle some mozzarella cheese all over the sauce. Okay, we're going to cover our baking dishes with some foil. Now at this point, if you want to freeze one of them, you can. At this stage right here, double foil it, and then you can put it in your freezer. I'm going to cook both of these up. We're going to pop these in the oven that's been preheating at 400 degrees for about 40 minutes. I'm going to take the foil off. I'm going to pop it back in the oven for another 10 to 15 minutes until that cheese is nice and melted and golden brown. I've pulled these out of the oven and took the foil off to bake them for another 10 minutes to allow that cheese to get nice and melted. I'm going to go ahead and I'm sprinkling some parsley on top. There is my sausage, spinach, manicotti. I'm going to plate this up and I'm going to give it a try for you. Nice and tender. Well, look at that filling. Yum. That is very delicious. I love that sausage filling on the inside. The pasta's cooked all the way through. It's very delicious. If you want an Italian dish and you don't want to make lasagna, stuff some manicotti right here. Okay, you guys, give me a thumbs up on this one. Don't forget that it makes 2 pans, and you can even freeze one before you cook it if you want to do that, make it a freezer meal. And y'all comment down below what you think. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button right here. I have 2 other dishes right here. If you're interested, I will follow you over there. There'll be more Italian dishes. Okay guys, I will see you on the next episode.